The money illusion and the hidden exposure. If money was truly the reason women are attracted to men, then every rich man would be deeply in love, and every broke guy would be completely alone. But you already know that's not how the world works. You've seen average guys. Nothing flashy, nothing extraordinary. Yet somehow they're with women everyone notices. Women who are not just there, but genuinely into them. And at the same time, you've seen wealthy men, men with status, money, access, getting ignored, disrespected, even cheated on. So now the question becomes uncomfortable, almost unsettling. If it's not money, then what actually makes a woman choose you, desire you, and most importantly, stay? Stay tuned. She Insight here. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're breaking down the biggest lie men have been told about money and attraction. Why chasing money for women quietly backfires. What women are really responding to, and what truly makes you stand out without saying a word. Because by the end of this, something will shift. You won't lead with your wallet anymore. You'll lead with something far more powerful. Something most men completely ignore. Let's get into it. Somewhere along the way you were told this. Maybe directly, maybe indirectly. Once you get your money right, everything else will fall into place. Confidence will come. Respect will follow. Attraction will happen naturally. It sounds logical. It feels right. But in real life, it quietly falls apart. Because money is not personality. It's not presence. It's not identity. Money is a magnifier. It doesn't build who you are. It reveals it, and then turns the volume all the way up. And this is where things start to get interesting. Imagine two men. Same world. Same opportunities. Completely different outcomes. The first man is grounded. He knows who he is. He's not easily shaken. When a woman pulls back, he doesn't panic. When things feel uncertain, he doesn't chase. He has standards. And he's willing to walk away when those standards are not met. There's a quiet control about him. A calm presence that doesn't need to prove anything. Now, give this man money. Everything about him becomes sharper. His lifestyle improves. His options expand. But more importantly, his energy stays the same. He's still centered. Still selective. Still in control. Now let's look at the second man. He's unsure of himself. He overthinks everything. He needs constant reassurance. Even if he doesn't say it out loud. When a woman takes longer to reply, his mind starts racing. When she pulls back, he leans in harder. He tries to fix things. Prove things. Secure something that feels like it's slipping away. Now give this man money. Watch closely. Because this is where most people get it wrong. He doesn't suddenly become confident. He becomes a better funded version of the same insecurity. Now instead of texting too much, he's spending too much. Instead of chasing with words, he's chasing with gifts, experiences, gestures. And on the surface, it might even look impressive. But underneath it, there's a silent message being sent. I'm doing all this because I need something in return. That energy? It doesn't create attraction. It creates a transaction. Now pause for a second. And be honest with yourself. Strip everything away. The money. The status. The ability to provide. What's left? Is your presence alone enough to hold her attention? If the answer makes you uncomfortable, that's the point. Because money doesn't solve that problem. It hides it. And hidden problems don't disappear. They wait. And eventually, they get exposed. This is why you'll see men who have everything financially, yet still struggle in relationships. And deep down, they don't understand why. They followed the blueprint. Make money. Become successful. Provide value. They did everything right, on paper. But they skipped something critical. They never built the part of themselves that actually creates attraction. Confidence. Emotional control. Self-respect. Boundaries. The internal structure. And without that structure, everything external becomes fragile. Money can enhance those traits. Yes. But it cannot replace them. So understand this clearly. The message is not to stop chasing money. That's not the lesson. The real shift is to stop relying on money to carry you when it comes to attraction. Because if what's underneath is unstable, money won't make your dating life better. It will only do one thing. It will make your mistakes more expensive. The provider trap and the real source of attraction. Now here's where the truth gets sharper and a little harder to ignore. Women are not attracted to money. Not in the way most men think. They are attracted to what money signals. And that difference? It changes the entire game. Because when a man builds real financial success, it usually points to something deeper. It suggests discipline. It suggests patience. It shows he can delay gratification. It reveals focus, consistency, the ability to commit to something long-term and actually see it through. It signals problem-solving, competence, stability. And yes, those traits are attractive. But here's the problem most men run into. They don't build the traits. They try to present the outcome. They want the look of success, without becoming the man that created it. So what do? They perform. Flashy spending. Over-the-top dates. Trying too hard to impress instead of actually connecting. And for a moment, it seems like it's working. She shows up. She smiles. She enjoys the experience. But something deeper is missing. Something you can't fake for long. Because attraction is not built on temporary enjoyment. It's built on consistent emotional experience over time. And eventually, the environment changes. The excitement fades. The novelty wears off. The situation becomes real. And that's when everything shifts. She stops looking at what you're providing and starts paying attention to you. And if the traits underneath are not there, the attraction doesn't explode. It slowly disappears. Now here's another layer most men completely overlook. When money becomes the main thing you bring to the table, the dynamic changes. Quietly, dangerously. You are no longer being chosen for who you are. You are being evaluated for what you can give. And the moment that happens, you lose your position. Because now the silent question becomes, what else does he have, besides provision? And if the answer is not much, attraction doesn't grow. It stalls. Or worse, it becomes conditional. Let me challenge you directly. Have you ever felt like you had to keep doing more? Keep spending more? Just to keep her interested? If the answer is yes, then you weren't building attraction. You were maintaining a transaction. And transactions don't create emotional attachment. They create expectations. And expectations always demand more. That's the trap. This is what's called the provider trap. And most men walk into it without even realizing. It starts simple. You meet a woman you genuinely like. You want to stand out. So you step up. You plan the dates. You pay. You check in. You make yourself available. You listen. You try to be consistent, reliable, supportive. On paper, you're doing everything right. Everything she could ask for. But underneath all that effort, something subtle begins to shift. You're not just giving because it's who you are. You're giving with an expectation. You want her to notice, to appreciate, to choose you because of it. And that expectation changes your energy. Now you start watching her reactions more closely. You start investing more than she is. When she pulls back, you lean in harder, trying to fix it, trying to secure it. And without realizing it, you've placed yourself in a position where you're trying to earn something that should be given freely. That's the moment everything starts slipping. Because the second you try to earn attraction through provision, you lower your leverage. Here's the uncomfortable truth. A woman can value you for what you do, and still not feel that pull toward you. She can enjoy your generosity, and still not feel excitement. She can appreciate your consistency, and still not choose you long-term. Because attraction has nothing to do with how much you give. It's built on how you make her feel when she's with you. You've seen it before. A woman emotionally hooked on a man who isn't doing nearly as much. maybe even doing less than you. Yet she's more engaged, more curious, more drawn in. Why? Because he's not trying to earn her attention. He's operating from self-respect, not overcompensation. Now understand this clearly. This is not about refusing to provide. That's not the message. The problem is not provision. The problem is leading with provision as your main value. Because when you do that, two things happen. First, you attract the wrong attention. Women who are more interested in what you can give than who you are. Second, you train the dynamic. Your effort becomes the baseline. And once that happens, you have to keep increasing it, just to maintain the same level of interest. And that is a losing game. So what actually creates attraction in the moment? Not your money, not your effort, not your performance, but how you make her feel in your presence. And those feelings come from something deeper. Emotional control. When things shift, you stay steady. You don't panic. You don't overreact. You don't chase. That calmness is rare and powerful. Identity. You have a life outside of her. Your own direction. Your own rhythm. She enters your world. She doesn't become it. And that creates tension. Emotional stimulation. There's curiosity. Unpredictability. Moments of intrigue. Not confusion, but interest. Because where there is no tension, there is no pull. Boundaries. You don't accept everything. You don't tolerate disrespect. Because a man without boundaries is easy, but impossible to respect. Detachment. You are not desperate for the outcome. You're not trying to force anything. You express yourself and let things unfold. And that freedom? It draws her in. Now everything comes together. Most men believe the path is money, status, women, confidence. But the truth is the opposite. You build the man first. Then the money follows. Then the women follow. Because the same traits that create success in life are the same traits that create attraction. Discipline, focus, emotional control, consistency. Skip that, and everything becomes unstable. You might get money, you might get attention, but you won't be able to keep it. But when you build the man first, something shifts. Your standards rise. You stop entertaining what drains you. Your communication becomes clear, direct, grounded. And your presence? It changes completely. You no longer feel like you're auditioning. And that alone changes how women respond to you. It's slower. It's less flashy. There's no instant validation. But it compounds. And over time, you become the kind of man who doesn't need shortcuts. Who doesn't need to prove anything. Who doesn't need to chase. Because at that point, you're not trying to create attraction anymore. You are the reason it happens.